And the microphone is on. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad to have you on board today. It is September 26th of 2022 here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And I'm your host, DrFox2000. You're watching VolcanoX, a live stream. Welcome on board, everyone. Glad to have you all here. And we've got footage from our wonderful Siggy Fisher from August 11th on the screen. So there we go. That's what's happening. Anyway, I see more people piling in. That is great. Glad to have you all on board here. And as we get going, we'll first say hi to our good moderators, Arizona Snowman, Piggy, and it'll be C&D Boy, and possibly Gary, 24/7 Live AZ Skies, and perhaps Lucas Snow and Joseph Fields, one of the two, or perhaps both in the background as well. Anyway, I see C&D Boy is there, showing a thumbs up. Excellent. And I'm sure the others are in the background. Piggy is still not feeling all that great, considering everything that's happened in the last day or so. On the good side, her other Scotty Wicker is starting to eat again, which is really nice, and a good sign, of course. So that is a positive, and we keep our thoughts going for our wonderful Piggy. Wow, Lizoid, awesome. Thank you very much for that wonderful super chat, Lizoid. They're just writing that down. Thank you very kindly. That is awesome. Good way to start the show in a positive light. So thank you kindly, and appreciate that support. All right, as we get going here, to get the stream started off right, you got it. Thanks, Lizoid. Oh, and Grandma B too. Grandma B throws a super chat in as well. Thank you, Grandma B. Very kind of you. And I appreciate that support as well. So awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, first person in today was Sue Hayes, and the one we were missing yesterday. And I figured that we would see something like that happen as they start repairing things, that your power would have gone out and your internet service as well for a little while they were restringing and reconnecting lines there, Sue. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe what's going on. You may find some more of those outages coming along, and hopefully not at the inconvenient times. Hey, Arizona Snowman is also in the house there, I see. Welcome back, Morgan. I'm glad to see you there. And let's see. I gave the cookies to Sue Hayes since she was first, and that is all good. Happened for 10 minutes today too. Okay, and I bet you it's going to happen for a few more times, Sue, so be prepared for that. It's when they're trying to get things all fixed up and going, that is very, very likely to occur again. Speaking of storms, let's go take a look at the other one that is going to be coming into. Where are we going with it? It's going to be actually hitting Florida in a slightly different way that they were thinking. So let's just peek at that for a second, you guys, and before we get into too much else here. So I did refresh this and wanted to see where that storm is sitting, and they show it just south of Cuba. And I'm sure the people on Cuba up here in Havana probably getting nailed already with it as it's starting to move in. Now, the original track, it was down here. The original track, they said, was going to come up in the Gulf Coast and then come up like this. But it looks more like it's going up, and it's probably going to come in somewhere here rather than up in here. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of that storm in Florida, and I hope everyone who is there, Linda, I believe you're in Florida, right? I hope you're ready for a storm because that is coming. The one good thing that I'm going to say here is it is going to hit Cuba, and of course, bullseye is Tampa, I hear. Yep, that's what I was going to say. But the nice part about hitting Cuba first is going to take a lot of power out of that storm, although it will have some time to regain strength as it comes across. And this is where Tampa actually is, and that's where they're targeting it. So if it does come across there and hit Tampa, everything on the bottom end of Florida here is going to see some bad weather. So trying to kind of stay positive. Hope everyone is ready and kind of hunkered down for that storm, or will be anyway. We don't ever like seeing anyone coming into harm's way, and that includes the good people here in Cuba, since they are already starting to get inundated by it. If we take a quick look at the wind speeds, we can already see that it is in excess of 110 kilometers an hour in some places. There we go, 112 right there. So yeah, this thing is picking up some force, but if it continues on its track, pretty much going up here, it's going to really hurt Havana. And then if it does lose a little bit of power, that's good, but it's got a long way to go before it gets over to Tampa, so it can regain a lot of strength. And hopefully we're not going to see it develop into too much more. But yeah, that's already a pretty nasty system as is. Anyway, I'll leave that alone. This is not about the storms, although I do say caution for anyone living in either Cuba or down here in Florida. Even a little further up in Georgia and those areas, you might want to make sure that you're ready for something to come through, as well as South and North Carolina, and it should die out once it gets up to about that point. But you never know. You never know. Yes, that's correct, Linda. Mother Nature, you can't fight her. No, you have to be prepared for her. Welcome, Irish Monk. Anyway, let's say hi to everyone here, and as people are popping in left, right, and center, and of course, we already said hi to Sue Hayes. We do have King Colin Deadman here. Sasha's back in the house. Grandma B is here. Linda Schoof, Irish Monk. Welcome all of you guys. And going up some more, looking for others. Sue Hayes, yep, definitely here. And Paul Williams in the house. Colin also here. Going up a little bit more. Lizoid in the house, welcome. And Billy Bob Joe also in the house. Tom Dice is here, welcome back, Tom. And going up a little bit more, looking for more wonderful names. Scott Hartman, back in the channel, welcome. Glad to have you on board. Frank McLeod, welcome back. And going up some more, looking for more wonderful names. And do we see others? There's lots of people in here, but okay, we got Frank. One Fish 26 is also here. Welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. And still scrolling up, looking for others that I obviously have missed. And let's see. We got Scott. We got DJ Puff the Third. Welcome. And Colin, we got scrolling, looking for more. And do we see more wonderful names? I see lots of names, but I've already said most of them. I think all of them. Just totally mackerel. It is tough. Hey, Philomena is back. Welcome, Philomena. Good to have you on board. And let's see, who else have I missed going up here? Kimmer Cool loves volcanoes and oceans. Welcome back, Kimmer. And we're going up a little bit more, looking for other wonderful names. We got Linda. We got Scott. Oh, boy. A lot of chatting there. A lot of chatting. And it's a good thing you guys are chatting, because that's what it's all about. Okay, I'm already at the top here, and I see, Mummy of Hamsters also in here, as well as a Barbell 88, and that is it. Oh, Echo. Echo, the bot is here. Welcome, Echo. And Kate came in. Welcome, Kate. I'm glad to have you on board. And if I missed any of your names, I do apologize. I do try to say hi to just about everybody in here. You know, like Henry Nelson when he sneaks in, grabs a lava cookie and goes right to the lounge. But sometimes we miss those, right? So anyway, all good. I'm glad to have everyone on board. And let's get back to our volcano stuff. Rather than looking at storms, and we'll check on that storm later. I'm going to turn that big banner off. I'm going to turn that other banner off, maybe. Yeah, there's one, there's two, and there's three. So I did back this up a little bit, and so we could see what's going on at our volcano. 4 p.m. We're just thereafter. We still see that big smear on the camera lens area. I'm not sure what that's all about, but we do see some smoking, a little bit off-gassing here and there. Really nothing major going on in Iceland right now. I kind of was watching the harmonic tremor chart, everything headed down to the basement. I'm working on prices on new stock. Okay, excellent, Mummy of Hamsters. And hello, Kevin Haynes. Glad to have you in. And anyway, that is kind of what we're seeing there. Quick peek at the other ones. That, of course, is our shot of the aluminum plant. But if we back that up a little bit, you can see how hazy of a day it was there, and kind of not good visibility. You can see Ragnar up there, but and this, of course, is Kaleer. It's kind of hard to see what it's doing, if anything, over there. Hey, look, it's the boat. The boat is here. Good timing there to catch the boat. Anyway, we'll put that one back on live. Take a quick peek at the city of Reykjavik itself. It looks pretty awesome. I like that nighttime view. And if we back up a little bit into daytime here, just before sunset, that is kind of what it was looking like. So not too bad of a day there, but they did have some storms going through and stuff like that. And, makes things a little bit difficult for them, but yep, nice little city view, and looks pretty awesome. We'll put it back to live. There we go. I'm not sure how the other one will fare, but we're going to have a quick peek at that one. And this is the one where we see Katla on the back right hand side there. And of course, that is the snow-covered area. So that is Katla over there, and that's not a bad shot. Their lens, I think, had gotten wet or something and needs to be cleaned a bit. But hey, it is what it is. At least we can see what's going on there. And all is quiet at the moment. So putting that one back on live, you can barely see what's going on as far as just a few lights. And that is it. Yeah, Sarah, I would love to go over there and just clean those. That just drives me crazy. It's like having dirty windows. I don't like it. And yeah, the dirty windows, unfortunately, we have to leave them a little bit dirty, otherwise the birds fly right into them and smack their heads on them and stuff. I don't want that happening. I actually had that happen a few times right after I cleaned the windows really, really well. And I go, hey, you know, I did absolutely super. You can't see a thing, not a single spot. And then all of a sudden, a smash. Bird hits the window, right? And it happens, guys. It happens. Anyway, let's have a look at our harmonic tremor chart really quickly. And it is not faring very well. Well, it is what it is. I'm actually going to refresh that, make it a little bit more up to date. There we go. And as we see, it came down fairly hard from the nice rise that we had, dropped down yesterday, and is kind of sitting idle. A little bit of activity showing, but nothing really severe as far as possible upticks in activity. So that is kind of disappointing in a way. But that's where our chart is today, unfortunately, for Fragile, of course. And if we go take a look at some of the other ones here real quick, we'll stop and look at Grimsey very quick. And there is Grimsey. And we see it too is heading downward as far as activity. So hopefully it'll calm itself down and we'll be all good again. And I think it might. I think this is going to drop off some more down to similar levels that we have here. Not 100% sure of that, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, that was Grimsey. While we're going down, we'll take a look at Grindavik. You can see it's heading for the basement there. So kind of pretty steady as it goes on the extremely low frequencies here, but definitely going down. Not good. So we need more power, and that's unfortunate right now that we're not seeing it. Moving on, let me get that corrected there. There we go. I'll zoom out a little bit. So in the last 24 hours in Iceland, we've had 29 earthquakes, and that's all. And that is a very low number for Iceland. Typically, we get a lot more than that. So that is kind of what we're seeing, what we've got. If I look at the other map, it looks interesting, but it really doesn't show that much anywhere. Not like what we were seeing previously up on the top here. That has cooled right down as far as activity is concerned. And we're looking over here at our wonderful Reykjanes Peninsula and hoping that we're going to see more. This is already, I think, 24 hours old. And this guy here was from yesterday and at 1851, and we did look at that one, 4.3 kilometers down. And then he had that little friend of a 1.0, which was also yesterday's from 1852, 2.7 kilometers down. So not really all that much happening there in the area. If we go back to this map, we see a little bit more of the small ones. And here is our, of course, Fragile area. And then when we go up towards Kilauea, there's Kilauea there. And we see that 1.2 still up there. Wow, Irish monk paid for 3 of us at the door. Wow, Irish a monk. And that is awesome. And you are a very kind person. I appreciate that a whole bunch. And so does the doorman. He never gives me any of that, you know. Thank you very kindly, Irish. That is awesome. And thanks for the other one as well. And let's just have a quick peek at these depth-wise. This one is actually very shallow. Mind you, it's very small. And we see a 0.01, and it's 1.66 kilometers down. Happened at 11:12 this morning Icelandic time. And then we have this 0.68, 3.3 kilometers down from 14:04. As we carry on here, this one was from 12:08, 0.53 in magnitude at 2.9 kilometers down. And then we have a 0.79, 2.5 kilometers down from 15:24. And then I need to zoom in to separate those. There we go. 0.144 kilometers down from 15:04, as well as 0.41, 2.5 kilometers down from 14:02. So a little bit of stuff going on there, but nothing that is really going to shake the magma loose and get it going and flowing for us, unfortunately. So we did see a couple other little quakes out here, one by close to the Blue Lagoon, 0.22, 1.44 kilometers down from just before noon. And then we have this guy here, actually from yesterday, 23:39, 0.74, and that is 4.7 kilometers down. If we move over here, we see a new 1.2, 5.3 kilometers down from 15:43. So that is kind of what we're seeing in that area. Now, I find this is interesting. They do show out here onto the Rikens Peninsula, and the Rikens Ridge, fair ways. But they don't show everything of the Rikens Ridge, and we know that Rikens Ridge is quite long. So let us just go over to the other map here for a second, and I want to show you what is going on there. So as we zoom into Iceland, I zoomed in a little too much. There we go. There's Iceland, and there's the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and you can see that is our Rikens Ridge, really, Rikens going down here. But once we get down just before the corner, this is kind of the end of it. I guess the corner is really where they end it. But here's this little beauty of a little swarm happening right there. And yeah, what do you, oh, yeah, Sue. That's what I'm showing here. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, and as Sue said there, between 4.6 and 5.1 in magnitude. So that is kind of interesting to see that. So we are definitely seeing something. Actually, that one's showing 5.3, a little bit bigger. It might be a newer one, but definitely a good size. Ooh, 5.7 is that one. So that is pretty nasty. I posted that before you got there. Okay, no worries. Yeah, some of them were a little bit bigger, but there was some, pretty much all in the 4s and 5 ranges. So when you're seeing that, you kind of have to wonder, so what the heck is going on, right? And is this a prelude to something that we're going to see in the future? Or is this a result of tension being released from what we've had? So if this continues, this may turn around and cause more problems further up the Reykjanes Ridge, and of course that leads us right back to Iceland, and we'll probably see some different kind of activity there. Now, if you remember yesterday, there was all kinds of stuff going across right in this area, and like a little swarm that we've seen. So anything is possible there, and we're kind of keeping an eye on it. And we did have these guys up here near Svalbard and Jan Mayen. So not sure what to think of it, but the activity is there, and that is the point. Is just we know things are moving, the plates are moving, and of course they're forever moving. They don't stop. You know, they may be only moving a millimeter a year, but they are moving, and that is for sure. And now the other map, earthquake map that Snowman just pulled up the link for, that one too will show you what's going on, and I can probably refresh that guy. I do have to refresh it to see those quakes, and there they are. They're showing them on that map as we zoom in, and they show the different depths as well. Some of them are a little bit deeper here, 40 to 80 kilometers on these guys. That one's 60 kilometers down for that 4.8. The 4.9 also 60 kilometers down. And then some of the bigger ones here, a lot shallower. And that's kind of hard to go figure out. But hey, you never know what's going on. If the plates are moving, and you know, it's we're going to see some deeper stuff as well, some shallow stuff, and that's what I'm thinking, and we're seeing right there. Anyway, pretty cool to see that, and you guys are welcome to either use the USGS or the EMSC earthquake map there. They definitely, between the two of them, they'll show you what you need. So that is pretty cool, and let's continue on. I'm going to go back onto this guy just so I can close that off, and that's kind of it for Iceland right now. So all things are quiet, and we hope that things will continue to stay quiet there for those good people. Hey, welcome back, Trevor T, and Karen is here. Welcome, Juliana. Welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. And did I miss anyone else sneaking in the door there? We got Kate earlier, and John C. Welcome. I'm glad to have you back. And just taking a quick look to see Mary Martin also in the house. Welcome, Mary. Glad to have you on board. And I think we're good for names right now. Okay, so if I didn't say hi to you, I'll try. It's just got to yell at me. That's all you got to do. It's pretty easy. Anyway, that's what we're seeing there in Iceland today, and hopefully we'll see something erupt in due course. But you never know what's going to happen. I did get a message there from Yvonne Vandermeer, and of course Iceland had some pretty nasty storms up on the northeast side. And that's where she was actually heading, and the ended up having the roads closed and stuff like that. So she ended up having to go elsewhere, and basically got turned around. So hopefully Yvonne Vandermeer is enjoying some more of her vacation without too much storm. Anyway, let's carry on. Let's pop over to the Azores, and of course Azores are always fun. I was watching some of that earlier today there, but right now, whoop, there we go. You can see the Pico Island lights, and that is off in the distance there. We are on the island of São Jorge. This is the harbor down in front, and one of the small towns right along the coast right here. And for those who are not familiar with it, I'm hoping to bring up the right photo. No, that's not that photo. This one. There we go. That was from the other day. We had a nicer, shiny one there where you can actually see the Mount Montana over on Pico Island from this vantage point. So pretty cool. Anyway, well, I'll leave the pictures off. The other one that I was showing here, that cove, that's what we normally look at to see how rough the ocean is. And as you can see, there's some waves breaking there. That was from yesterday. It's going to be pretty tough to see what's going on there right now, but I know the seas are not any better. And if we go to that, we can see as they update the pictures, we can see a lot of white water still splashing in there. So we know it's pretty rough, and you shouldn't be out on a little boat there right now. Let's take a look and see what we've got for earthquakes, and this could be interesting, but I don't think there was that many. Two from what I see here, and this one from 2:58 a.m. 1.5, and that is on São Jorge, of course, and then another 1.5 at 3:05 in the morning. So two small ones. Let's take a look at the other map, and I'm going to refresh that one since that is still stuck on yesterday for some reason. I thought I hit that button. We'll see how that fares. Okay, and that is showing a few other ones. Let's make that map a little bit bigger. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. So, of course, we're going to zoom in just a tiny bit. There's São Jorge, and there's our two quakes. So the 1.5 21 hours ago, the other 1.5 20 hours ago. We do see here there's two that are 2.0 16 hours ago, and 2.1 11 hours ago, right there. And then we've got some other quakes here, 10 hours ago, 2.0. And that is, of course, southeast of Terceira. And then we have this one here, 44 minutes ago, 2.2, and that is kind of the same direction, but a little bit more east than southeast. And then, of course, down here we see another one that is a 2.9, and that is pretty close to the other island here, or maybe this one. I don't know the name of this island. I think this is Miguel, if I'm right. But anyway, that's what we're seeing down there. So if we take a look at the depths of those, it gives us a pretty good idea. The one on São Jorge, or the two on São Jorge, are surface quakes. Actually, most of them are surface quakes. The only one that really showed anything down was this 2.0. That was one of the ones. Where's that guy? That should be 2.0 was one of these. Where is it? One of these two out here. So giving us a little bit of info anyway. And that's kind of what we've got there. It is Pepsi time, and yep, I'm going to put this back to where it belongs, get it fixed up there, and I am going to take that break. So for all those good people here, if you're enjoying the show, by all means hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and that would be greatly appreciated. Of course, our target is to try to get over 100 likes, and that helps out with the YouTube analytics. We're going to turn the canned lava back on, and we'll let that play, and we'll put the little logo on the bottom there so we know when it was from. On that friendly note, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I'm going to take a 5-minute break or thereabouts, and then I will be back. So keep smiling and play nice in the lava. I'll be back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, DrFox2000, and you're watching VolcanoX, a live stream. Welcome back, Dr. Foxy Lava Guy. Thanks, Trevor. And Sue, thanks, Sue Hayes, and Mummy of Hamsters, of course. Welcome back, Uncle Doc. Grandma B says, welcome back. Andy Morgan, hi. Well, welcome, and welcome back. Thank you. And Sasha, as well as Kevin and Colin Deadman, all saying welcome back. Thank you, everyone. And Pistol Pete just popped in as well. Welcome, Pistol Pete. Glad to have you on board. Anyway, you guys, so we had a look at our wonderful volcano there well, we looked at the Azores and the earthquakes and things. So let's pop over to our next one on the agenda. I'm going to stop our canned lava here and just stop it there for now so we can save it. The can is not as big as some of the other cans, so we have to stop it once in a while. Otherwise, it'll all be gone before we finish the show. Anyway, moving over, gonna have a look in Mexico, Popocatépetl. And unfortunately, right now, this very minute, it is in the clouds and fog and stuff. I do have it sitting here at 18:07, which is 7 minutes after 6 p.m. Their time. And there you can just barely see the bottom portion of it. And it's unfortunate that we've got so much cloud in there today. I tried to look for things up earlier in the morning and, was met up with this kind of stuff. But we did have a time where we could see that snow level was down a little bit more. Oh, wonderful. And now we're getting commercials. Hey, isn't that nice? This is lovely. Anyway, let's go back to where we were here. Right about here. So I'll put it right there. And of course they cranked the quality back up, right? No, that didn't help any. Anyway, looking at what we did see, that was 7:14 a.m. Not quite the golden time, but as we watched it, we did see a massive plume come out. And even though it's cloudy, you can still see that fairly well. And definitely it did what it likes to do. And that is perform a little bit for us, even though the cloudy conditions are in the way. And that was a pretty good blast out of there. So I like it. Anyway, advancing at 5 seconds at a time here, give you a little bit of an idea what it was doing. Some of that steam or smoke coming out of there doesn't look as bad as this side looks really quite dark, and I don't know if it's just because of shadowing, but that looks really whitish. So I wonder if we have two different vents popping in the top of this thing. And anyway, the clouds in the way for the most part. And that is what we ended up getting, lots of clouds afterwards. We can see that one from another angle, 723 roughly. Let's go back on this one here. And this is a little further back. And we can see what it looked like when it was doing that. Oh, I want to go back a little bit more. There we go. And 750, even more than that. How about right there? There you go. 7:27 a.m. on this camera view. And that wasn't bad. Kind of lit up fairly nicely there. Again, you can see that snow level fairly low on the top of the mountain. So you had some snow, but we can also see in this shot that we had a lot of ash come out of the volcano today, so it's covering up some of that snow, and that is kind of what we're seeing there. If we move that ahead 5 seconds at a time, it gives you a little more of an idea, maybe 10 seconds. We'll see if that works better. to just kind of show it propagate out of the volcano. And it was hanging there pretty well. So fairly cool air. Anita, welcome. Glad to have you back on board. And James Bong also here. Welcome, James. Good to see you guys. Anyway, that's kind of what we had earlier there this morning. And there was another fairly nasty plume about here that we could not see on the other one. And you can see how dark in comparison that shot was compared to that lighter material we were seeing earlier that came out. So that is kind of eerie, kind of makes you wonder what it was going through it. But that is a little bit more of a real, true volcano eruption. And again, you can see that it was throwing out more ash that definitely starting to get bury that snow, right? And then what happens, of course, if that ash is not hot enough, it's not going to melt that little bit layer of snow. And if it sits on top of that, we can end up having some lahar type slides coming off of there, but you never know. Anyway, we'll advance that a little bit more here, and just before it did one more shot here about 8:20 something, 8:21, and you can see that pushing up and through, but again the clouds got in the way, so definitely some action there at Popocatépetl, and it is doing its thing for us. Pretty awesome. Okay, and then after that, of course, it was the wonderful color of what I call volcano gray. And let's go back to our live broadcast. That is what it looks like right now, this very minute. And did we have any openings? About 25 minutes ago, it peaked out a little bit. So that is what we've got from Popocatépetl. Moving on, taking a look, and of course, you're all familiar with that title there. This is Fuego in Central, sorry, not Central America. Well, it is kind of Central America, but it's in Guatemala. And we didn't see too much of Fuego. It was in and out of the clouds. So it's kind of a hunt for the eruptions. There we can see one of them, and that was throwing out some very dark material as well. And I don't know, the clouds were just horrible though. Everything was stuck in the clouds. I'm just trying to see if we had a couple more spots here. Most of them were not that great, and they had restarted their stream, and I think it's because there was just nothing to view on the stream at the time. It was our wonderful volcano gray color. So yeah, going back another up to the 8.5 hours that they've got going here since they started it, it really has not shown any more eruptions because we couldn't see it, right? So who knows what it's been doing, but there it is, and that is Fuego, and that is in Central America. Popping over to the other ones real quick. That is Sierra Negro, and that is also in Central America. That is in Nicaragua. Unfortunately, not very good visibility there today. They too are getting some of those wonderful thunderstorms and stuff that has moved in. This guy is our wonderful Messiah volcano, and Messiah is unfortunately not suffering from the grayscale there, but it's still putting out fairly well right now. So that's what we see, the big plume coming out, and of course most of that just steam and off-gassing for what it is. And again, at nighttime, I did look last night and this morning, we could see a glow in here, so it definitely has some active lava down in the pit. And I tried to look for the other camera, the one that is actually looking down into the caldera, and I still have not been able to get it working. So they've got it there, but it's still offline. So and let's carry on. I'm just checking my time here. Left chat, Johnny. See, left chat. Okay. What about right chat? Left chat, right chat. Okay. Anyway, I know I'm being punny. Let's get on to that screen. There we go. And of course, that is Merapi, and it is in the wonderful morning hours there, 6:49 a.m. right now, for those good people when that was taken. And we can see that it is off-gassing from the top. We can see a little bit on this side as well, on the sunny side. So not bad looking there right now. If we go back a little bit in time, this should be about an hour and a half ago or something thereabouts. And it was fairly cloudy. This is right at just as the sun is starting to peek over. Cloudy from some directions and not cloudy from others, which is kind of weird. But I don't know. They got interesting weather there. Very isolated weather, if you will. I was trying to find some lava, and unfortunately, just nothing visible during the course of the night. So I'm going to leave that one back on live and not worry about that right now. Pop over to New Zealand for a second, and there is Mount Ruapehu. Ruapehu is actually visible today, even though it does have a few clouds around it. We can see it, and there is still quite a bit of snow cover, and it is doing its thing. So not sure what we're going to see in the future here, but that is Ruapehu. I haven't heard of anything major coming out of it, and no big plumes of off-gassing or anything like that. So pretty awesome. And let's put this back. So that's kind of nice though, Ruapehu. I like that. It's a nice looking picture. Anyway, going back to this for a second, we'll pop over and have a look at what Krakatau is looking like right now. And let me get on to that right screen. There we go. And of course, looking at the chart, up and down, and is heading down. It'll probably go up again. There's the caldera area right here on this shot. And then, of course, the other one, you can actually, well, you see the smoke is actually coming right towards the camera. So visibility is very difficult. I'm surprised we're seeing some blue skies here. But just looking at the weather patterns in the area, it's just kind of, it's nice to see that they do have a little bit of clearing happening there. I know in the Philippines it's a different story. They have that storm sitting right over top of them, but not much we can do. Pop over to the other one, and that one is not working yet. Let me see if we can get Semaru back on there. Nope, Semaru is not alive today, and that is what we're going to leave it as. So Krakatau and Indonesia, and that is just west of our wonderful what is it? Java, the island of Java. So there we go. Moving on, let's go to Japan, and there we are. We are looking at Sakurajima, and Sakurajima has been busy smoking, and it's bad for you. Smoking is always bad for you. Let me get on the right one. So right there, coming out of the caldera. Lots of smoke, even when we back up a little bit. Well, how far back is this? About 3 hours, 15 minutes ago. We see that it had relaxed for a little while and then started putting more stuff out again. And of course, during the night, it was fairly quiet. I didn't see anything. I did scan through this looking for glow. And, you know, if you're looking very carefully, you can see a little bit of a glow there. But it really isn't anything to write home about. And I didn't think it was worthy of really noting. As we back up through time here, that's around 20 minutes after midnight, roughly. Still nothing there. And then this one here, just before midnight, it was very, very smoky there. And I'm guessing that it was probably throwing out some dust and debris and whatever else is coming out of there. Just not hot molten lava that we could see, and that is unfortunate. A quick check. Hey, the ice cream boat's leaving. Come back. I forgot. Oh, we'll have to come back and get ice cream later. You guys, I'll make sure we come back. The ice cream boat is just taken off. Darn it, we missed it. Anyway, that is kind of what we're seeing at Sakurajima. And let's pop over. There is ASO, or, well, what's supposed to be ASO. We can't see it because it's in the clouds. Even if we back up, I don't know how much we'll see. 2.5 hours ago, that is what it was looking like. The caldera is actually right there. And you can kind of see some steam coming up there out of the caldera, but very, very hard to make it out. And because of the low level of cloud passing over top. So that is ASO. ASO is the way it is spelled. And ASO-san is an honorable volcano. Let's put that back onto live. And we will grab the next one. This is Suwanoshi-jima. And we see that one pluming off a bunch of gas as well. And just about 7 a.m. there. And that is, it is live, so that is what we're looking at, you guys. And unfortunately, no lava again. If we back up a little bit, 3 hours ago roughly, kind of looked the same. And when we went back even further, and we don't see a heck of a lot in the darkness. And moving back a little more, that is 2340, so just before midnight, and really nothing visible there. This one here, this is 2242 roughly. Not sure what was going on there, if we had something else pop out, or you know, if that's actually from the volcano, or if that's just fog sitting there. But it was kind of interesting to see that. And there again, so it might be wind direction changing or something like that. Anyway, back to live. That is what Suwanoshi-jima is like right now. And that is definitely off-gassing quite a bit. And that's what we've got. Let's see, is the Taal. They're waiting for Yellowstone. I forgot to hit. Let me put you on Yellowstone here for a minute. Clark Hall, welcome. Glad to have you on board. YouTube viewers, yeah, and we got a bunch of those. Anyway, that on the screen is our wonderful Yellowstone National Park, and that is Old Faithful. That should be popping any minute. Matter of fact, I think it's just starting up. So I'm going to try to refresh Taal Volcano and see if that is working. And we'll try that and see. Okay. Get rid of their commercials. And oh yeah, no, you're not going to see anything at Taal. you see a volcano gray. And I'm just checking back to see in their stream. They restarted the stream 14 minutes ago, and it's because you couldn't see anything. Anyway, just to give you the idea of what it looks like there, that's Taal volcano. That is a beautiful color of gray. Back to our wonderful Yellowstone. So that is it. Anyway, I am looking at it is break time, you guys, and I think we'll leave it on Yellowstone for the break to give us a little bit of a different setup here for the break, which is all right. We don't mind watching this once it does get going. It's usually a pretty good sight. So awesome. Anyway, for those good people who are here, if you have not yet hit that like button, please help us out. We are trying to get past that 100 mark, and that does make a big difference when you get into the YouTube analytics. So for all those good people, if you're enjoying the show, please hit that like button. Also, if you're new and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, and sitting on the outside, you are welcome to hit that button. 1 minute later, you can come in and chat with these fine folks that are in the stream chatting away, and they are a friendly bunch. They won't bite you or hurt you or anything, not much anyway. But you got to watch out. They might tie your shoelaces together, things like that, but nothing really, really nasty. So. That's kind of it. Hey, there she blows, our matey. And Old Faithful is going. Tom says he bites, or is, hang on, is that Tom typing, or is that Pepper typing? Anyway, there's Yellowstone's beautiful Old Faithful doing its thing. So we like it. Oh, Tom, yeah. Okay, careful, you guys, around Tom. Tom bites. So other than that, you should be all right. I don't think there's too many others in here that bite. Anyway, I'm your host, DrFox2000. I'm going to go take a 5-minute break or thereabouts. And for those good people that are waiting, yes, we will have bacon seeds. And that will be what happens when we come back. And welcome to Gabby as well as John Shepard. Also, I'm glad to have you guys on board. And we'll throw some music on. I'm going to be back in 5 or so. Keep smiling. Tom is a biter. I'll be back. And welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you on board today. I'm your host, DrFox2000, and you're watching VolcanoX live stream. And thank you for the welcome backs from, let's see, from Sue and Andy Morgan, as well as Sasha. Welcome back, Daddy. Nah, that didn't sound good, Sasha. Thanks, Kananaskis country. Anyway, I'm surprised that Sharon's still singing. I forgot about that. Sasha says, welcome back on Dog Fox. All right. It sounds more appropriate. Anyway, oh, don't make me too old, eh? Let's see. John Shepard says, Australia has the best looking gold nuggets. Yeah, some of them are really awesome. They got some really big ones there, John. Some really, really big ones. And anyway, let's leave that be. Let's take off out of Yellowstone, go to our bacon seed scenes. And of course, this was the last one from yesterday. He played so hard he couldn't make it back in the house and decided to have a nap out there in the warm, wonderful sunshine. So That is our last one from yesterday. First one from today is this guy, definitely in need of a hogwash. And that is something that we really need. By the way, there is a bunny eating right now, for those who care. Just to throw that in. Anyway, that is an interesting looking little piglet, and I kind of like him. Just needs to clean up. And thank you, oh mummy of hamsters. Anyway, let's get to our next one. And here is some conniving ones, 4 of them together. They're planning something. They're whispering. They've got funny smirks, and the one on the right-hand side is sticking out his tongue. I wonder what that's all about. So, pretty awesome. And maybe he's just doing that to the camera. Anyway, I like that picture. That is cute. Next ones that we have. Hey, Nancy Buchanan, that pig, little pig needs a bath. Yep, he needs a hogwash. That's what we call it. It's like a car wash, but it's a hogwash. These 2 little guys are looking pretty good, looking right at the camera. They're out and about having some fun, rooting around and stuff. And they're pretty nice looking little smiling piggies as well. So we like, what do you mean hogwash? Yeah, of course you mean hogwash. Yep, a whole load of hogwash. Well, I get 3 or 4 of them in there at the same time. Anyway, next bacon seed is this guy. And I don't think he needs to hogwash. He looks pretty clean and neat. But if we let him out in the field, I'm sure he's going to look like the other ones as well. And let's see. Yeah, cheetah piggy. Next one. There you go. A couple of cute little guys right there. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but smiling for the camera is one of them anyway. Pretty awesome sitting there. And I think these are Dalmatian pigs, special breed. Anyway, they look good. So pretty cool. Hey, Leo, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. And let's see who else we've got in here. And then we have this little guy. What a cute little bacon seed. This is part of that Dalmatian clan. And he's smiling too. You gotta love it when they have that wonderful little smile on their face. And pretty awesome. So that is our second last one. And let's get to the last one for today. And that is this guy. And he too looks like he's trucking around, but he's a sloppy eater or something. He needs to get in that hogwash. So that'll be pretty good. Anyway, I love it, you guys. Those are wonderful bacon seeds, and Piggy definitely did a wonderful job selecting these and sending them in. And we always like that, and really do appreciate that, Piggy, if you're listening. And thank you very kindly for your efforts. And I know it's not always easy finding ones that we haven't seen before. So thank you very much for your hard work on doing that. Okay, so we had a look at Yellowstone. We had a look at what we seen or didn't see at all. Let's pop over to Hawaii and take a look there and see what we've got going on. And then we'll keep going. And this, of course, that is from yesterday at 1756. We can see that the lava level is definitely starting to rise again, which is really a good sign. That lava pond here in Kilauea's crater is definitely refilling itself. Of course, down at this end is where the feed point is, and it pours in this way and kind of moves across here. and we see how it has crusted over a bit on top, and the edges typically are pretty much like this, but we see them brighter in some places. And what's happening there is the lava is pouring out of the actual pond, and some of the gas bubbles are bubbling up, breaking up the crusted over lava that is formed on top, and making bright spots. And there's one of them, and that one is actually the I can't really tell on this picture if that second bridge is still intact or not. Maybe on our refresh we'll be able to see that. But it had two bridges here to go into the tow area, which was pretty cool. Anyway, we also see a lot of bubbling on this end, so that is where a lot of it is draining out. And what we'll do is refresh this and take a look at the current picture, and there it is. And it looks like the front has collapsed here. The back bridge is still intact, so definitely a front bridge is now collapsed, but that's all right. You can see a little bit of venting here. That is from the lava tube that is underneath, and you can see again the patterns that it creates as it flows in to the lava pond. This is actually really good. We can see these cracks really well, and I'm still thinking we're going to see some of this drop out of here, and this piece on the side into the pond. We do see that this is breaking up a little bit, and the path I think that is still intact. Looks like that bridge is right there, but it's starting to get chewed away, so we'll likely see that drop back in. Same thing goes for this guy back here. Once the lava level goes up high enough, that's going to cause some pressure on it from underneath and just pop it out of there. We do see that main drain over here is kind of closed up. It's moved over here again, so pretty cool to see that. Anyway, let's get to the next picture. Pardon me. That was from yesterday around 6 p.m. their time. Primary vent is right there. There's that little hornito that has the lava tube in it, and that feeds our lava pond. And we do have too much smoke really to be able to tell what's truly going on. We do see that smoke on that back piece on the caldera wall that I keep thinking about is going to drop right in there eventually. And we see some smoke a little further up here as well, which is kind of interesting. It's up fairly high, not right at the caldera floor, so that may indicate that there's some pressure underneath that as well. Let's refresh that. There we go. Smoke is sitting in such a way you can't really see it, and we see that smoke here has gone. We do still see some off-gassing right there, and a couple other spots, and this one way over on the other side. The lava pond is clearly visible there, and of course you can kind of sort of see that raised area in the middle here, and that of course is a little bit higher than the outside areas. And what that is basically a lava island floating on top of the lava slash magma that's underneath there. So pretty awesome. We'll see what happens in the future. And this thing has filled up quite a bit, but now with the levels changing, I don't know if these measurements are still pretty accurate or not. Anyway, from the bottom of the crater floor, it is 143 meters deep as far as that lava is concerned, or 469 feet. And we have in excess of 111 million cubic meters of magma that has poured out of this thing and turned into a lava, which is roughly 29.2 billion gallons. Of course, erupting since the 29th of September last year. So pretty cool. And let's carry on to the next shot. This one is from the opposite side of the caldera. From yesterday still, you can see that wonderful shot of the lava pond primary vent over here, and then that round hornito over here with the lava tube in it. You can't make it out because of the smoke in the way. Let's refresh that one, take a look. This is what it is right now, and that is not bad. We do have a very clear shot of Pig Island right there, and you can kind of see the edges of the larger flow here, and you can really tell right here how much difference in height from up top there to down in the lower levels around the edges that we have. It looks, like probably 5-6 meters difference in height in some of the areas, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, that is that. Let's pop over to the thermal shots. This was the thermal from last night at 6 p.m. and really nothing major to report there. We can see the top of the hornitos very open. The primary vent is underneath that big hornito lava pond and tow area. Everything else is cooling down, and you can still see a light ring around the edges here, but nothing too drastic. We'll refresh that, see if there's anything new, and no, I don't see anything. And a little bit brighter around the edges, but I don't think there was anything really new. We can definitely tell the level of the lava has increased in that pond, though. So that is it for there in Hawaii. Let's pop over to the earthquake map, and we'll get on. Let me get to the right one here. We'll have a quick peek and see what we've got for earthquakes in Hawaii. There's your Hawaiian chain, and it is beautiful, doing its thing. And of course, we have another earthquake out here, which really makes you wonder. 3.0, 15.9 kilometers down. That was actually from yesterday. That might have been, no, this was the one we seen yesterday. This is a newer one, 1956 yesterday. And that is interesting that it would be out there rather than right here on the island. But we'll zoom in here a little bit into, we'll cover the Pahala area first, and then we'll do Mauna Loa and then Kilauea. And Pahala, of course, the depths on those guys are between about 26 and 37 kilometers on average, somewhere in that ballpark. This 1.9 today from 1441. Then we have another 1.9 from yesterday, 2147. The bigger one here, 2.3, and that was from 1710 today. And then we have this 1.9 also from today from 2:28 a.m. Zooming in a little bit more, this 2.4 today at 5:12. Then we have this guy 1.8 at 2:05. This one here 1.8 at 11:47, and a couple more real close to Pahala, 1.7 8:25 yesterday, 18:25 yesterday. There we go. 2.7 right there today at 15:42. So that is pretty good. We'll grab this brand new one here, 2.2 from 1800, and that is interesting that happened, but okay, right on the edge. 1.8 from yesterday at 1939. And then this guy 1.9, 7 minutes after 1 in the afternoon, or 13:07, and 1.9, interesting. 2.0, yesterday's 22:15, and then a 1.8 from 8:07 in the morning, Then we have a 2.1, 1552, and this guy here, 2.0, 1603, and that is Pahala in a nutshell. And we've got a bunch of little ones out here as well. These, I don't know if I missed these. 1441 for that 1.9. I think I got those. That's a 1.92. Yeah, I did. Okay, and let's climb up on top of Mauna Loa, the next volcano that's going to erupt for us. At least I'm hoping. And I'm hoping that it's not going to hurt anybody. So 2.0 from 752, minus 2.7 kilometers, so well up into the mountain, and 2.7 kilometers above sea level. This guy here, 1.4 from yesterday, 2131, and then we got a 1.6 from today, 1313, minus 0.5, and that is 500 meters into the mountain above sea level. This guy 1.8, same depth, and it is at 1044 that happened. Then same depth again for a 1.3 from yesterday, 2034 was the time on it. And then we have this guy 1.9 yesterday as well, 2223, minus 1.5, so kilometer and a half above sea level into the mountain. 2.0 from 1636, and that one is just a little bit higher up at minus 1.6. Then we have this one here. That is just a little shallower or a little deeper, 1.4, minus 1.4 kilometers above, so it's above sea level by 1.4 kilometers. Anyway, 3:20 a.m. is that time on that guy. And then we have a few others here, 0.6 from today, 13:39, not going to worry about the depth. This one, 22:42 was the time on this, 1.8 from yesterday. Then we've got a 1.6 also from yesterday, 2008. Then I think we got that 0.6. This other guy, 1.5, 1310 today. And let's grab a couple more here. 2.4, a little bit bigger, 5:12 a.m. And then we had another one, 2.2, 6:29 in the morning. Then this strange grouping over here from today, 13:15, for that 2.3. And then we have this guy here, 1.4 from 14:30 or 2:30 in the afternoon, Hawaii time, that is. 1.5, 15 minutes after noon, and that is what we got there. And another 1.5 from 13:18, sitting right there. Then a little guy further over, 0.7 from yesterday, still 21:28, and that was 4.5 kilometers down on that guy. So that gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on over there. And Mauna Loa is a volcano that, I think we really need to heed, because it could erupt, and if it does, it will be spectacular, at least we hope. And this is something Yvonne Kunkel and I were kind of chatting about a little bit. The differences in some of the amounts of magma that we would see coming out of this, and it's a horribly difficult thing to predict. It's like Ragnar as an example. I think the original estimates was that it was going to put out somewhere around 18 million cubic meters, and it ended up being 43 million cubic meters. Thank you, Sue, for that 2-minute warning. So 43 million cubic meters, and then of course then we take a look at Siggy, and that one, they predicted that the chamber was 50 million cubic meters, and Well, what did we get out of it? About 17 million cubic meters. So, big differences in what we're seeing. And another fine example is that they estimated about 12 million cubic meters coming out of Cumbre Vieja in La Palma. And huge difference in what we actually seen come out of there. It was a heck of a lot more. So, my question was, how much are we going to get out of that if Mauna Loa does go? And that is one of those tricky questions. We can't really answer it with any kind of an accurate guess because of it's sitting right on a hot spot, right? I see two more quakes just came in, and we're going to look at those real quick here. Pahala area from 1825, 2.5, and then a 2.0, 1826, right close together to each other. This is the other one, 1800. We've seen that earlier. So two brand new ones right there, and I'm glad we've seen those. Anyway, let's zoom in a little bit closer to our Kilauea, and that is there. We do have these two quakes here. This one from 1543 and 2.3 magnitude, minus 1.1 kilometers, so it's just about on the surface, and that is 1.1 kilometers above sea level. And here we go, 0.8, and that is 2.3 kilometers below sea level, and that is at 11:07 that happened. So that gives you a pretty good idea of what was going on, and that's all good. I'm going to go take that break now. I'm going to put you back over to our wonderful canned lava, and let me turn that back on here. There we go. And see a few more people popped in. Edith NZ, welcome. Glad to have you on here. I see Kananaska's Country is also here. Who else popped in? We got Leo earlier, no worries. But anyway, glad to have everyone on board. And for those good people who are here, if you're new or haven't hit that like button yet, please help us out. Let's see if we can get those likes over that 100 mark. And that is kind of the turning point for the YouTube analytics. So please, give it a quick shot if you haven't done so already. On that friendly note, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And wow, Irish monk. Anyway, yeah, I'm your host here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and I see a whole bunch of people are being gifted. Thank you, Irish monk, for gifting 20 memberships. Wow. That is incredible. Tony Flabby got one of them. Serpentplexing, I got one. Who was it? Sophie got one. Richard Wooler, I got one. Alex France, I got one. Greth Bro, don't even know who you are, but welcome, and I see you got one. Andy Morgan, I got one, and Trevor Wonky Donkey got one, and I'm sure there's more. Klaus H. also received one. Pretty awesome, and thank you, Irish Monk. That is awesome. Gifted 20 members. That is really cool. Thank you very kindly for that wonderful, the wonderful gift. I'm sure everyone will enjoy that. So thank you guys, and thank you, Irish Monk. That is awesome. Okay, on that note, though, I do need to take that break. My voice is starting to crack, and we need to do that. Well done, sirs. Okay, let me do this. Music on. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. Thanks, guys. welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you on board. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And, of course, you're watching VolcanoX, a live stream. Thank you to Sue and Trevor and Leo and Kevin and Nancy. Boogie Woogie Music, welcome back, Dr. Fox. Thanks. And Andy Morgan also says welcome back, and same as DJ and Sharon Stewart saying, I hear you. Are you done singing, Sharon? Boy. I hope it wasn't anything hard like yodeling or anything. But anyway, I'm glad to have you back, and hope your singing went well. Anyway, let's stop our wonderful canned lava. Arliss Scott just popped in. I'm late, but glad to see the lava, and glad to hear you, Dr. Fox. Okay, I can see you, Lizoid, singing. What? Singing was great. Okay, awesome. And no yodeling today, but I can yodel. Oh. You know, I used to try that as a kid, and I thought it was neat. And then, of course, when we seen the Ricola commercial, of course, we all mimicked that one. I remember that very well. But anyway, the earlier, I don't know if some of the ones I had seen, they did have some pretty cool yodeling on there. So... Anyway, oh, too much fun. Let's stop our can lava here for right now. Otherwise, our can is going to get all emptied. Get back over to our earthquake map, and we will see what else we've got happening. And of course, right now, apparently, we have another shot here in Hawaii showing another earthquake. So yeah, no, we looked at those already, never mind. That's all good. And going around our ring of fire, first off, we don't see too many big ones on the North and South American side. We do have a couple little guys here. 4.3 Colombia, 10 kilometers down from yesterday at 21:41. Then also down in Chile from today at 15:46, 20.4 kilometers down, 4.3 in magnitude. The other ones are all a little bit older already, which is probably good. Things are calming down there. We did discuss this one over here at the end of the Reykjanes Ridge, and that is kind of sitting there. There's a whole little swarm. So that is pretty cool. Anyway, looking down here at New Zealand, the older ones that are there, but we do have a couple here. I guess that would be Fiji area, and that is a 4.8, 534 kilometers down from yesterday at 1918. And then we had a 4.4 from 1036, and that is 522 kilometers down. Here at Vanuatu, we have this guy, 5.5, a little stronger, 32 kilometers down, 7:58 a.m. for that guy. And then hitting this one, Papua New Guinea, 5.1, 64.3 kilometers down from 1511. Sliding over a bit more, we see a little bit of movement here by Indonesia, 4.7. 1717 was the time on that, 10 kilometers down for that guy. And a few in between here, 4.4 Indonesia as well, 64.3 kilometers down, 8:46 a.m. their time. And then a 4.4 from yesterday from 21:33. That one was quite deep at 457 kilometers. And looking at the other areas, we don't see anything until we get up further here by Japan, and that is 4.9 kilometers down. 4.9 in magnitude at 10:05 a.m. 33.6 kilometers down. There we go, got it out correctly. Kamchatka Peninsula, 4.8 184 kilometers down, and that happened in their time 12:02, just after a lunch. So that's pretty cool. We do see out here on the Aleutian Islands 5.2, and that is right near Rat Island, 76.9 kilometers down. Happened at 5:39 this morning. And sliding over a little bit more, we got all those. Grab these two here. One in Afghanistan, 4.3, 101 kilometers down, 9:07 this morning. And up here in China, that would be 3.9, 10 kilometers down. Nothing really too serious. Looking at the entire region here on USGS is not reporting anything new. So that is kind of what we like to see. And we did have a look at this little conglomeration of, or swarm, if you want to call it that, at the end of the Reykjanes Peninsula, or Reykjanes Ridge, I should say. And that goes all the way out to here, Mid-Atlantic Ridge, all the way through. So that is interesting to see that one there. Let's pop over to the Canary Islands, and we'll see what we've got there. I'm going to refresh that one and see what the latest and greatest is. And zooming in a little bit, we see first the star flashing on Tenerife, and that, of course, is a 1.8 from 22:19. And then we see a bunch more out here in the water. I'm just wondering, is there anything else further north if we zoom out? No, we don't see anything up in the top. So let's zoom back into La Palma itself and see if we have anything going there. And we're zoomed in 26. We have two of them. So one out actually in the water. It's not even on La Palma. But it is 9 kilometers down. Happened at 3:02 a.m. and at 4:10 we had one that is right there in the Cumbre Vieja area, probably on the southern side of it, and that was 8 kilometers down, 4:10 a.m., 1.6 in magnitude, and that's kind of it for that guy. Always interesting to see these extra ones popping. Oh, and we do have one up there. When is that one from? That's yesterday's, the 3.7 at 17:16 was the time on that guy, and we don't have any other ones in that area. And of course, and that is part of the, this is a Eurasian plate, and this is the African plate, and that's part of the divider in between there. And that kind of is on one of the fissures, if you will. So pretty cool, pretty awesome. Quick peek at our volcano map. I got to refresh that one as well, and make sure that we are up to date. And let's see, there we go. Moving it over a little bit. Ooh, we do see a new quake on here, and that one I didn't see before. And always interesting to check multiple maps, because things don't always appear on the USGS maps for some reason. Anyway, this 4.1 was today at 1:48 a.m. and that is over here in the Strait of Gibraltar area. Pretty awesome. Anyway, Askja, the only one showing up here on Iceland right now. Then we've got the two here, Sao George and what is it? Tercia, if I got it right. Tercera. There we go. That is there. And then, of course, down in the bottom here, Michael Volcano had a quake, 4.7. Also produced a little bit more off-gassing. We'll get into that soon, because it typically wasn't producing any kind of a plume before of SO2, but definitely in there now. Quick peek at the ring of fire down here, South America and Central America. Not seeing anything really new, no real changes. And I don't know if they cranked anything up or down. It looks pretty normal to me. Looking over here on this side, we have Taupo in New Zealand, and of course White Isle volcano just north of New Zealand, and that is definitely still in there. And Tofua still on the map. Home Reef volcano still showing as a red. Haven't seen any updates on it. Hoping to see something. And our Tau here at the Samoan Islands, American Samoa, and that is what we've got right there. Still haven't seen anything come from that location. And of course, Vanuatu is still doing its thing, and most of these here in Papua New Guinea are pretty normal. Nothing to write home about. Luolatak still there. It had another quake nearby, 4.0. I don't think that's going to matter much. Ra'ung and Samaru, Marapi, and Krakatau are still there. Barren Island volcano still doing its thing. And Ibu and Dakono are still happy right there. The other ones here, Mayon and Taal, being quiet and sliding up. Suwanoshi Jima and Sakura Jima definitely active in Japan. There's that other 4.9 that we've seen in Japan from 1605, and that is there. Wow, Leo, awesome. Thank you for that wonderful super chat. Just going to write that down, Leo Carlson. There we go. And thank you very kindly. That is appreciated. Just show appreciation for you, Doc, and Lamont. Oink, oink. And thank you very kindly. And well, I'll write that down. There we go. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it, Leo. And sliding over everything else on the Aleutian Islands, still the same, except for we have that 5.2 earthquake, which we already seen before. All right, sliding over a little bit more. Reunion Island. No, there's Heard Island. This is Reunion Island. Piton. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Python? Piton. Piton de la Fournaise volcano. La Reunion. Wow. I know I butchered that name really bad. But since I butchered it, I will show you a nice picture of it. How about that? So there you go. That's from a couple days ago. That photo is compliments of Yvonne Kunkel. So thank you, Yvonne, for sending that in. And there you go. That is Piton or Python. But that is pretty cool. And that, of course, is why it is showing as it is erupting. So a very awesome picture, and furnace pit. So it's a furnace piton. Yep, that is exactly correct, Sue. Thank you. And yeah, that is compliments of Yvonne. She got it through her grapevine. She did not take the picture herself, but she got it from her volcanology friends there. So translation, I think. Okay, a furnace, a pit. Interesting translation. But I like that. That's a nice shot. Really, it does kind of give you a better idea what it looked like. I mean, without seeing it, we never know what these things really look like. We see a little spot on the map, and we're all going, okay, what's it look like? Yeah, sure, you got a volcano on the map. Doesn't make any sense, but this puts a little bit more perspective into it. You can see it's not coming out right out of the top of the crater. or out of the cone. It's coming off just off the side, and pretty good, and that's all fine. Anyway, let's put that back onto that map, and we'll once it gets over there. So that is this guy here, for those who are not paying attention, and that is where it's located, Madagascar, right here, and then I think this is what is this one, Martinique or something like that. If we put street names on it, there we go. No, it doesn't tell us what. Maybe I'm too close to see what the island names are. There, yeah, Mauritius, and a Reunion. So those are cool. Anyway, that is where they're at. That's the location, and that is pretty awesome. And let's go back to not terrain. I want to go back to satellite. There we go. And let's zoom out a bit. And then, of course, we see our other ones just out of Madagascar here, as well as Old Doño, and our two friends that we have there in DR Congo. Urta Ale is still there doing its thing. And Etna, and of course Etna, Stromboli, and Volcano, and Campi. And everything is quiet up here in that area, so Campi, I don't think we'll see do anything very soon at all, and I'm not going to worry about that. And I think what I will do is zoom back out there, and we'll put you back on some can lava. I am going to take a little bit of a break. I can hear my voice cracking, and I need to make sure that I calm it down a little bit while I'm taking that break. So putting back to the can lava, we'll turn that back on, double check how much is in the can. Still enough to do this, so I'll leave it right there. And for those good people who have not yet hit that like button, and we're only 3 away from making that 100 mark, so let's see if we can push it over, and that would be excellent. And on that friendly note, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I'm going to take a 5-minute break or thereabouts, and then we'll come back and we'll do the weather around the world and go from there. So hang in there, you guys, and thank you, everyone, for being here, and thanks for doing your wonderful stuff so far. So I'll be back in 5. Don't go away. Here comes some music. Canned music. Canned lava, canned music. I like it. I'll be back. we go. Welcome or welcome back for all those good people that are here. I'm your host, DrFox2000, and you're watching VolcanoX, a live stream. Thank you to Leo and Nancy and Sue and Billy Bob Joe and Kananaska's Country and Kimmer Cool is swing dancing. Awesome. And I hear you, Dr. Fox. All good. Excellent, Sharon. Thank you very kindly. And I see we are at 98 likes on my screen. And hopefully we'll push that over that 200 mark real quick. Anyway, 100 mark, I mean. I know, I was getting greedy at 200. I tried. Anyway, there we go. Let's see what's going on in our wonderful world. And, okay, I'm a little confused. Our storm is stalled. Yeah. Our storm isn't moving. Let me get over to the weather map. And there we go. Of course, everybody is concerned with this hurricane, or I don't know if it's actually classified as a hurricane yet. It's definitely beyond a tropical storm, but it looks like it's going to head up here and hit Tampa as far as the bullseye. So it is a hurricane. Okay. And of course, right now it's already wreaking havoc for the people in Cuba for the most part. And by the looks of it, if it does go up here, the area that's really going to get inundated is Havana. And hopefully they won't fare too bad out of that. And let's take a look at the rest of the world real quick. Cooler up in Alaska and northern Canada, definitely starting to see some below temperatures, and we're seeing that in the northern portions. Of course, really cold up in some of these places up here, looking at minus 19, minus whatever, never mind, that's too cold for me. Sliding back down here, even Baffin Island, half of it is already a popsicle and doing its thing. Here's what's left of Fiona, and that is right there. Anyway, as you see, we have here in Alberta and most of Saskatchewan some really warm weather pushed in, even northern British Columbia. So beautiful day out in western Canada. Till you get to Manitoba. Well, there it cools off, and that's okay. Top end of Saskatchewan and Manitoba and northern Ontario, very cool. Getting down into southern Ontario, we see it warms up a lot more. Back into the low teens for those guys, so not bad. But we see Quebec as down into the single digits again. Newfoundland, Labrador up here, some places even in the minus temperatures, but doing its thing. And looking out in the eastern portions, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, and that area, 16, 17 degrees. A little bit better weather, I guess, for them, or warm enough. Same thing out here in Newfoundland. So not bad for them for the most part to try to rebuild some of that stuff that they need to. Looking at the U.S. real quick, we see actually kind of the western half of the whole United States still holding some very nice temperatures, and not anywhere near as hot as it was in down in the southern end here either. So 20, mid-20s, low 20s. Fairly comfortable. Gets a little bit warmer once we get up in the mountains here, looking at Washington, Oregon, and California. Definitely doing its thing. Death Valley coming in at 41 degrees Celsius, and that is somewhere in here, and that is pretty nasty. And hopefully that'll cool off for them, but we do see the rest of California here getting some very warm temperatures, at 25, 26 in LA, and you get outside of that, it starts to warm up. Mexicali down here coming in at about 39 degrees. Sliding over into Arizona, same kind of thing. 37 in Phoenix right now, so that's what we've got there. But the other portions of Arizona a little bit cooler, which is probably okay. And New Mexico kind of calmed down as well, temperature-wise, for a September 26th day. They are looking pretty good. Same thing goes for Texas. Pretty nice weather in that sense of temperature-wise, and that kind of goes all the way up when you start looking at it all the way up into Wyoming here where our Yellowstone is a little bit cooler, but that is to be expected. Elevation's a little higher there, right? And coming down North and South Dakota, not bad. And going all the way down, we see Arkansas and South Tennessee, not quite as warm, but looking at Mississippi and Louisiana and those areas, not bad temperatures at all today. Georgia as well, South Carolina, North Carolina, not bad. You get into the mountains, though, things cool down real quick. And looking at what we have in Florida, we see there's kind of a cutoff line here, and warmer above that. And this bottom area here is all being affected by the storm already. So that is going to be something interesting to watch over the next 24 or 48 hours. To see where that actually ends up. Don't know. Did anybody know what do they expected? When do they expect it to hit Tampa? I'm just wondering. Is it tomorrow night or something, or a little further down the road? Anyway, looking at Cancun, 27, 28 degrees, pretty normal. Looking at Mexico, of course, the hotspot areas are up in the north here, a little cooler down in the other places, higher elevations, definitely a lot cooler. Central America, looking not bad. Panama looks pretty steady, and getting into Colombia, again, higher elevations are definitely cooler. The Amazon area is definitely holding its heat though, so not bad, and that is kind of dipping down all the way here into Buenos Aires area. Well, not quite Buenos Aires, but Argentina for the most part. Uruguay coming in at 13, 14, 15 degrees, not bad. And then we have actually, this is still a little bit cool right in this area here, but not bad. 100, thanks guys for 100 likes, that's awesome. A few more would be pretty cool as well. Rio de Janeiro coming in at about 20, Sao Paulo about 16, 17. Gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on there. And then moving down a little bit further into the bottom end of Argentina and Chile, it gets a lot chillier. Looking at New Zealand, a little bit warmer today, which is really nice. Looking at 17, 18 degrees on the eastern side, western side, and some spots still down in single digits, but low teens for the most part on that side. Nice to see a little bit of warmth coming in there for them, and that is compliments of this high causing some of that stuff to go through, and then this low over here certainly helping out draw in some of that extra warm air. Looking at 17, 16, 17 degrees on the North Island for the most part. Get a little cooler in the higher elevations. And hopefully a little bit warmer in Tasmania today, and it is too, so that is nice, seeing it a little bit warmer. And even like I said yesterday, Melbourne was horribly cold. It showing as 13 degrees right now here, and what is it, 15, Leo just brought it up, 15 degrees Celsius is what the weather guessers are saying there. So split the difference between them, and that is pretty awesome. Adelaide coming in around 12, Sydney around 18, 19, Brisbane up top here for our wonderful Oz. She is getting 22 degrees or thereabouts, 23 degrees, and that is pretty good. And Perth, a little bit warmer today than it was the past few days, 17 degrees Celsius, so a little bit nice. And looking up in the top area here, that heat has come back to this wonderful land, and that is always nice to see. And there's our Nauru. Nauru is wreaking havoc. It was sitting on the Philippines. It is now moved into the South China Sea here, and continuing to damage all the stuff going on here, and it is definitely in there. Bangkok coming in at 26, 27, something like that. I see 25 here, 26, thanks Sue, and that is awesome. 96% humidity, so probably raining, and I would guess that anyway. Here you go, next storm coming in, and that'll probably head that way as well. We'll see where that one goes. It could go either direction or straight in to the land as well. Hopefully these aren't going to hurt anybody or do any damage. I hate it when we see storms coming through that rip everything apart and ruin people's homes. But it is what it is, and nothing we can do to stop Mother Nature. Sliding up here on the Kamchatka Peninsula. Sorry, I had my finger in my eye. Oh, itchy eye. All right. It is pretty cool there, single digits for sure. So we're seeing that, and then that a low here coming out of the Bering Sea, definitely pulling that cold air down from up north, and we don't want it. But it's sitting there doing its thing. Sliding over a little bit more, taking a look at what we have. India pretty much normal. We have this massive low sitting here, and a big high sitting down here, spreading a warmth and pushing it back in towards Madagascar once again. And of course there's a Reunion Island that is coming in about 20 degrees Celsius. Looking at the bottom end of Africa, we see South Africa still has some very cold stuff down here by Cape Town, with only about 12 degrees, but they do have a high sitting over top of it, and not sure if that is going to change when things this high should move over a little, and that'll change the whole pattern down there a bit. But looking at Africa, not too bad for the most part. Get up here into the sandy areas, and we are back into the Sahara Desert. It warms up quite a bit there. Looking at Saudi Arabia and Iraq, Iran, not anywhere near as warm as what it was. UAE, even a little bit cooler, not hitting 30 right now, so pretty awesome. And we do have warmer and nicer temperatures here in Oman, and then of course Yemen is higher elevations, cool again, but still holding some nice temps. Zooming in a little bit, I have to do that on this one. Looking at Piggy's area, and we are seeing that circulation bringing up that warmer air from the south, and that is kind of interesting. But she's got more reasonable nighttime temperatures now, around 20, 21 degrees Celsius, so that is kind of what we're seeing there. We'll take a look and see if she's got a rain coming in a little while, but not yet. And thanks Leo for bringing that up. It says 19. Wow, so Yeah, the map says 21, 20 roughly. So 19 is good. A little bit cooler, lets them sleep better at night. Anyway, it is nighttime there, so that's not a bad temperature. Anyway, looking at Sicily, it warmed up a little bit in comparison to what we were seeing yesterday, so not bad. Same thing with basically the toe of the boot down here in Italy, and nice weather for those good folks. And moving up a little bit, though, we see the higher elevations definitely a lot cooler, but along the coastal areas still pretty nice. We've got that big nasty storm sitting in here, so that is going to mess everything up here. Milano area is going to be a little cooler as well, 14 degrees. So that's kind of what we got there. Sliding over a bit more and going into Spain and Portugal. Portugal actually doesn't look too bad. Not bad temperatures. Southern Spain as well, not bad. But the northern areas definitely single digits, getting a little cool, guys. And moving up a little bit, looking at France. Nighttime temperatures, single digits for a lot of places. Still a little bit warm down on the bottom here, which is kind of weird. This warm breeze blowing right through and driving that storm, I think. The Alps, of course. Yeah, let's not talk about the Alps. Poor people in Zurich, 10, 11 degrees. Munich coming in at about 10, and Stuttgart, let's see, 11, Köln, 10, so Berlin, 11 or 11, sorry, 10 degrees there in Hamburg. And let's go over to England here, and we see London also at about 10 degrees. Looks a lot cooler the further up we go, and of course up here in Scotland, definitely single digits all the way through. Irish Monkland is a lot better. We like that, 10, 11 degrees, and depending on where you are. And the east coast a little bit cooler, so that's kind of what we're seeing there. Sliding up a little bit, we see not too bad, kind of seasonal weather, I guess, for Denmark. And then we will take a look here at Norway all the way up. Fairly cool, a little bit of a warm breeze blowing through the middle here, and that is kind of interesting. It's a 15C in Monk's House, or Monk House. All right, awesome, Irish Monk. And let's see what we've got here. We got 11 in Stockholm, so a little bit warmer down on the bottom end of Sweden, but not that much warmer. Looking at Finland, quite cool. Helsinki still coming in at about 10, though. St. Petersburg, 7 degrees. And Riga is about 10, 11 degrees as well. Just to peek in Moscow, 2 or 3 degrees, and too cold. And of course, looking at the cold weather here in Iceland, not a surprise that we're seeing some colder temperatures, and definitely looking at 3-4 degrees here on the Reykjanes Peninsula. 1 degree, 0 once you get in a little bit further. Reykjavik itself 3, and yeah, Burr. Katla is down there. This is up in the ice fields here where Grimsvatn is, and Bardabunga and those areas. And definitely a little bit on the cool side. Still warmer up in the north here, still above freezing, so not so bad. And that is pretty much the same all the way around the outer coast. We won't look at the other spots yet. Let's put it on precipitation and take a look at what we've got. Looking at North America, we see a top end here, some stormy, snowy weather up in the Yukon and Alaska. And then we see this system that's being driven by this low coming all the way in, hitting the Alaska Panhandle here, as well as getting a little bit into British Columbia. Looks fairly dry out in the prairies, which is really nice. And not till you get into Ontario do we start to see some bad weather. Low sitting right just north of Toronto. And there we go. That is really churning away. And hopefully that will move off and go somewhere else. And hopefully not back down here. They've had enough. And that is all the way down into Boston, by the way. And of course, here you see some more storm clouds, of course, hitting Newfoundland and southern end of or southeastern Quebec. Hopefully dry out in the Nova Scotia area so they can get things fixed. Looking at the U.S., not bad for the most part. We do have a few little isolated storms down in Arizona, but nothing really major. Same thing with New Mexico, but a few down in the bottom tip of Texas, and something down here in Louisiana, Mississippi area, down on the bottom, right at the coast. But I think the major one that needs to be addressed is this system in here. It looks like they're already starting to get nailed with some thunderstorms and stuff in the Florida area. And here you can see that storm coming across. I just want to check wind speeds here for a second. And still showing 910 kilometer an hour wind speed so far. So definitely hurricane force, and that's what we've gotten there. But hopefully that's not going to be doing too much damage, and people are going to prepare for it. Looking at Mexico and Central America, we can see storm after storm. Lots of stuff going on in there. Northern areas here, Venezuela's got a bunch of storms in it as well. Not too much in Colombia. Getting over here into Peru, some rainy weather there, and Rio de Janeiro getting rained out again, and they've got all kinds of different stuff there, but not as big or organized storms. And sliding down, that's off the coast, not bad. We do see down here in Chile, they got the chili maker cooking or cooling, one of the two. Anyway, Argentina looking a little drier. Moving over to New Zealand real quick to see what's going on there. And there we see we've got the warmer temperatures on the eastern side of the island, this fast flow on the western side. And of course that is generating some rain down on the bottom end. Not too bad up on the North Island, a little bit of rain, but nothing to really complain about, I guess. Looking drier in Tasmania, and of course boy, that low was moved off, and I guess Leo was getting some rain. Is it raining there right now, Leo? I'm just curious. Hopefully nothing bad if it is raining there. So that is the bottom end of Australia, of course, getting nailed a little bit. Sydney looks a little drier, and Brisbane is going to get a few showers, I think, but nothing too much. Not at present, but it's coming. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Not sure how that's going to circulate around there, but looks like right now you're getting southeast winds blowing northwest. Interesting. And Perth looking dry. We do see some much needed water coming down in the desert-like environment up in the central areas there. So not bad. And there we go, going into our Philippine, Indonesian, Malaysian area. And there's Nauru, and of course that is sitting in the South China Sea, doing its thing. It's just swirling away and going to probably make landfall here and slow down a little bit soon. And of course, it's got back up once that passes through a day or so more, and you'll see this call up, or whatever they call it, call up, cool up. Anyway, it's coming. So more storms. 'Tis the season for storms. Looking at the southern end of Japan, we also see a storm sitting on top of that, and that is kind of interesting. So hopefully this isn't anything too major for those good people. Sliding up a little bit more, Kamchatka Peninsula, some rain down in the bottom half of that peninsula, and that is, and we won't worry about that. We got some other systems all over the place. I want to see Hawaii for a second, and yeah, Hawaii might get a little bit of rain, but nothing really drastic. So sliding over a little bit more, we see systems down on the bottom here, South Africa and that, not so bad. And some heavy systems in the Indian Ocean going around as well. Like this low here is gonna, I don't know where that's gonna end up, if it's gonna go up and finally get up to, say, Sri Lanka and India. It's hard to say. More storms happening here on the eastern side, so places like Bangladesh or I think are going to get nailed. Dakar, that area, it's already got rainstorms. Eventually they'll get more. And looking here at our European stuff, taking a look, and we are not seeing any rain for Kos area, or Piggy is not going to get anything for a little while there. And looking at the other storms, we see this one kind of going all the way around Greece, and that is kind of neat, but hopefully that's not going to be too bad for those people. And seeing more storms in the Mediterranean here. Getting up into France, we start to see some storms and lots of rain there. Same thing with the Alps, a lot of precipitation. And we get into Germany, they've got storms everywhere. Thunderstorms for everyone except for Berlin. They're not getting so much, maybe a little rain. But yep, even Holland, Luxembourg, Belgium, really everybody's going to get some. And it looks like even Denmark probably getting nailed. Isolated stuff here in that looks like Wales has got some, but for the most part England, just a few showers. Scotland up top here getting nailed pretty good, and looks like Northern Ireland has got a little bit of rain. Monkland though, Monkland looks like it's dry right now, so that is excellent, and that'll be easier for him to go count his goats. Looking at what we've got here in Norway, up in the top looks a little drier, and down in the bottom. Leo, you're leaving, and take care. Good night, Leo, and or good day to you, and we'll see you tomorrow. And again, thank you for your super chat. Awesome. And anyway, looking at we've got some storms in Norway, and that is kind of bleeding over into or coming out of, I guess, would be the bottom end of Sweden, and a little bit right there, and then going over. This system, of course, caused a bunch of rain and stormy weather in Iceland, and that partially messed up Yvonne Vandermeer's vacation there. So hopefully she'll have another chance to get at some of that stuff. And of course, looking at Greenland. Yeah, we know Greenland. Looking at my equatorial storm, it's a little bit broken today. We see some chunks missing out of it, and I think the hurricanes that we've got building up here are messing with it. So that is what we've got. But that's all for the weather today. So again, primary thing to worry about for these good people here is Ian is going to move up and probably make a landfall in Tampa area, and it'll definitely make landfall in Cuba first, and probably give Havana a really hard time. And of course, we already see all these storms in the southern regions of Florida. Hopefully everyone fares well. I don't want to see anybody hurt. And let's go back over to our temperatures, and we'll locate our coldest temperature on the planet, and we'll see how quickly we can find something that is really, really cold. And what do we got? Minus 69, 71. So far, only seeing a minus 71 as the cold temp. And we'll check in a couple more places here. And let me scan over this. Minus 68, no, 67. Nothing cooler there. And of course, going back over minus 69, 70. I had minus 71. Okay, that is all I can see there, minus 71. Oh, Sue says coldest I found as minus 73 degrees Celsius. Oh my God, that is cold, and way too cold. Go for the cold. Yeah, go for the gold. Sue wins by 2 degrees Celsius. And I dare anyone to show me the difference between the two, 71 and 73, especially if they're just wearing a t-shirt. I guarantee you'll freeze just about the same amount of time, about 4 seconds. Anyway, on that friendly note, awesome, Sue, and you win. So I will leave it there. And hopefully everyone will fare well with all these storms happening on our planet, and stay safe, everyone. This is the most important thing. So I'm going to turn on our canned lava again. I just want to see how much of that canned lava we got left. About 17 minutes. We'll give it 18 minutes there. Okay, I'm going to turn that canned lava back on and wrap it up. So thank you, everyone, for being here. I see we do have exactly 100 likes showing on my screen. If there's anyone that hadn't hit that like button yet, please help us out and give it a quick shot if you can. Also, a big thank you to all of our wonderful people in here. And I want to say thank you to Lizoid, Grandma B, Irish Monk, and Leo for their wonderful super chats. You guys are awesome. And also a big thank you to Irish Monk for gifting 20 memberships, which was really, really awesome and kind. So thank you very much, Irish Monk, and thank you, Leo and Grandma B and Lizoid. You guys are awesome, and appreciate that wonderful support. And also for the others that are here, thank you to all the members. And I really do appreciate every one of you being, a member and supporting the stream. That is very kind of you. And also a big thank you to the moderators. We've got Arizona Snowman, Piggy, C&D Boy, and Gary 24/7 Live, EZ Skies, as well as possibly Lucas and Joseph. Joseph Fields, Texas here was in earlier, so thanks. And that's it for today. Thank you to the entire Lava family. And again, if you haven't hit that like button, give it a shot. And on that friendly note, please stay safe. If you are in a storm area, make sure that you are ready for it, okay? And that is very, very important. Make sure that you're prepared for a storm if you have one coming in. And on that friendly note, I am going to say good night and take care, everyone. And we'll see you all tomorrow. And please make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them tonight, for tomorrow is never promised. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care and oink oink.